Wow, welcome to the Daily Safari. And the only thing I can tell you is the last 3 days trading have been really kind of epic. I've seen a lot of markets over the 37 years I've been trading. And in terms of raw movement, these are the biggest ones ever. I pulled up a couple of underlyings here. Let me first go back to the volatility instruments. Two of the short vol indexes, the SVXY and XIV, were down 83 and 93% respectively. The XIV has violated its charter and is going to wink out of existence. And the SVXY is just hovering around, down 83% from yesterday, which is an astonishing move. We've had UVXY, which is the long vol, trade up 100% and close down 33%. VXX traded 53 and then 43 today. You got to remember that the VIX itself was under 10 less than 2 weeks ago, and these moves you really can't imagine the rapidity and the amount of movement in the options market. To say nothing of the underlying. Netflix had a 20-point range in the last 3 days. Netflix had a 20-point range yesterday, and Amazon had an 88-point range yesterday. The SPYs, which you see here, have had a 5-day range of 200 points, which is 20 points in the SPY. It traded as high as 283 at the end of last week and traded as low as 262 yesterday, I think, and maybe even again today. So the Dow was down 6.5% in 3.5 days and then rallied today, which on the third down day was down the largest number I've ever seen, 1,175 points for the day. And it had it had multiple moves of close to 1,000 points intraday, where it would be down. It was down 1,600, rallied to down 800, went back to down 1,200, back to down 800, and eventually closed down 1,175. The scope of the moves are really, really mind-boggling. I highlighted a couple things here so you could see. In the SPYs, this is just for today. The SPYs were 262 on the close yesterday. So the 62s would have been the price of these 68s here. But you can see that the SPYs closed 68. They were up 5.5 or 6 points for the day. So the $2.50 option, had you been able to buy it, closed at almost $7.50. The magnitude of these moves is kind of mind-boggling. And in Netflix, which had a 20-point range over the last 5 days, but it's not really that far off of its low. It may be it might have traded. No, you know what? It did trade lower because I saw it trade under 250. And now it's closing at 265. But maybe that 250 prints, and it was actually in the 40s, were below. So that would have doubled the range. Instead of having a 20-point range, it would have had a 40-point range. And, the options, again, if you're looking at, here's a 12-point spread on this one, which is trading for $5. But the more important thing is that 12 points lower, the 6250s, which you see here at $6, would have been closer to this price, $1.20. So, traders, and the other thing about this kind of a market is you can't really just dive in and do what you want to do. What you can do, though, is put spread orders in above and below the market and watch them get executed, and then turn around once you acquire a spread and offer it out. And as I told someone today, this kind of a market believe it or not, is very forgiving because you have these huge ranges that are traversed more than once in the day, which gives, even if you make a mistake or you buy, too high or you sell too low, you get another chance. And that's really quite rare and it can be incredibly profitable. The opportunity now is gargantuan. For those of you who are trading on Spread Hunter, I'd be happy to talk to you more about it. So all I can say is get with the program and good trading. Okay, we'll talk in the next 2 days. We'll talk again. Ciao.